Alright, so I figure that now that Wasteland costs like when I did this, Wasteland had just hit $40, so I picked up a playset, and I was like, sweet, now I can play Rug Delver, without knowing, by the way, that foil dazes are like $100 a piece. So whatevs. Um, this deck, I'm not quite sure. I've never actually played it before. I'm not sure if it's a control deck or if it's an aggro deck. I do know the mana. I know that a couple of things. One, it has a lot of mana denial, stifle, wasteland, all that junk. Two, it plays a total of 6 lands that produce color. That's it. Um, it's like 6 lands, 4 wastelands, and uh, like the rest are fetch lands. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play them. See, like, this is my favorite part about Rogue Delver being on the opposite side. You're sitting there with a fetch land, you're like, oh shit, he's got a stifle, doesn't he? I can't crack this. I cannot crack this fetch land, man. It's gonna get me. And like the whole time, like you don't know whether or not the guy is a stifle. But I got double mongoose online, so I think that automatically wins me like the entire tournament ever. Um, Seems pretty sweet, not gonna lie. Um, this is like that quintessential legacy deck that everyone just, if you ever play legacy, you need to play it at least once to just enjoy. Like, it's not good. How do I say that properly? It's not a good deck. It's very easy to beat. Its mana is not amazing. I mean, because you're sitting there a lot of the times with shit that you can't do anything with, to be honest. Like, Force of Will in this deck is so rough because, you have so many, like, you'll be sitting there with, like, Bolt, Mongoose, Goyf, Force of Will. Like, what do you do in that situation? So, but this deck is just funny. Ah, Stifle. Ah, oh, loving the Stifle. And he's like, oh man. He was considering Force of Willing to Stifle. Okay? By the way, I played Miracles for the first time. I'll post that video eventually. On turn 3, with my opponent playing Mud, I blind flipped with a counterbalance in play. He goes Ugin, I go Dig Through Time. I love that shit. Alright, so he's probing away. I have a feeling that he's on Omni Show. Why do I have that feeling? Because I play Omni Show. Although his lands are very unattractive. I hate that. Just ugly basic lands piss me off. Um, in real life, I'm working on my Dig something deck for Modern, and I have currently 150 cards available on my sideboard. Um, so I'm gonna need help in that category. Not gonna lie. Other than that, nothing really important. No, why do they? Oh god. Um. Alright, so also I found like the biggest issue with this deck is getting Nimble Mongoose to Threshold. Like 90% of the time you're attacking with a 1/1. You know? Um that's I think like my biggest problem with this deck overall. That and I net deck this thing. Like if I take any account for originality whatsoever, I'm lying. Because I net deck the shit out of this. It's I'm trying to think. Oh, there's 2 Dismembers main deck. And I'm like, what? What does that do? Like, don't you have lightning bolts in your main deck? And I was like, couldn't those just be replaced with Snapcaster Mage? But hey, whatever. Because if he goes Omniscience, like Show and Tell, just even into just like Emrakul, I'm dead. So, this member doesn't give Emrakul -5/-5. Although I wish it did. That would be pretty sweet. Yep, there's the Cunning Wish. Searching for... I don't... See, here's the problem. I know from playing Omni Show, and I've played it... I have one of the highest Omni Show in percentages. Julian ain't got shit on me. When it comes to Omni Show, to be honest. But you're in this position and you're like, well, what do I do? You know, you can't search for certain spells. Like, you have a sideboard, but your sideboard is made mainly for the metagame. And mind you, I think I could also spell pierce this if I wanted to, and then just use Force of Will. But it never ever counter the Cunning Wish. Always counter the spell they get with Cunning Wish. Unless it's a split-second spell and there's nothing you can do about it. But it just doesn't make sense to counter a card and then give them an opportunity to play another Cunning Wish and get that exact same card. So... okay, so he got Wipe Away to, you know, like, push my Goyf slowly to the left. But if you play Show and Tell, I'm gonna, like, replay Goyf, so... You know, my Goyf versus his Emrakul. I'm guessing that his hand, he just doesn't have many pieces. Or he has the pieces, but 0 counter spells. That's what I'm gonna go with. I used Wipe Away, and someone tried to Force a Will it today. I was very confused. It doesn't take much to confuse me, but this confused me slightly. Just slightly. What shit movie is this in TNT? Oh no, a whole bunch of people on camels. I don't trust people on camels. Never trust a man on a camel. I learned that the hard way. Okay, so I'm just gonna replay Goyf. It doesn't make sense to... See, he made a mistake there. He allowed me to replay Goyf, which then puts me on a better clock. Because I wouldn't have been able to replay Goyf, blah 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 blah. Things happen. Things occur. Things like that. If he would have done it end of turn, he wouldn't have been dead. Okay, there's Show and Tell. Okay, counter war. Let's start a counter war. See, my version of Show and Tell has 4 main deck Flusterstorms, so I don't have to worry about crap like this. Like, Spell Pierce is just an inconsequential card. Even if he plays Emrakul, I think he's still dead. I have Threshold, because he would have to force this. Yeah, he would go back down to 6 or whatever, something like that. Like, he would have to even if he forces it in that case, then it would have, he would have been dead, even if he would have blocked one of the 3 things. So, I'm really not that worried. And then you got, let's see, so sideboard-wise, I'm taking out those Dismembers. I just don't think they're great in this matchup. They're good, but not great. I don't know what Sylvan Library does, other than make Goyf bigger. Pithing Needle, I could put that on Polluted Delta and just ruin his entire day. I guess, like, Pyroblast, or was it, like, Red Elemental Blast? One of those things. Would be nice. But can't do anything about that. This sideboard is not tuned well for the Moto Omnitel matchup. Now, mind you, when I did this, Tempest Masters was going on, and they were giving out Tempest Masters packs for every Legacy tournament, and Legacy tournaments had like 18 people. So it was the best EV in the history of Magic Gold, the Gathering cards. Like, it was seriously insane. Like, the EV was just nuts. Um, so, because like at the time the packs were $4 a piece, and Dragons of Tarkir was like 205. So you go 4-0, that's 44 tickets, which is much better than 22 tickets. Um, and I mean, for 19 people joining, I mean, that's like, you know, and like half of them are just playing Burn for the sake of it. Oh, good, I added a Flusterstorm. I don't know why that is. Flusterstorm is just one of those cards that needs to be in every single deck, every main deck ever. Oh, he didn't turn 2 May? Ooh, that was dangerous. He didn't go for the, ooh, I don't like that. It's not fun. Um, he didn't wait for the when I fetch, he fetches. Because that's like my favorite. Like, oh my god, the Rug Delver deck fetched. I now have to fetch immediately because otherwise I will lose. Um, Come on, you gotta have fun with this crap. Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that stack. All over a young Pyromancer, which would have destroyed me, by the way. Let me remind you that young Pyromancer would have wrecked me. Um, so, alright, does he have, like, Simian Spirit Guide? No? Alright, good, fantastic. Now I have a Force of Will in my hand, 3 lands and 2 Tarmogoyfs. One of these things is not like the other. Alright, so I'm gonna ponder. I think I need a blue card on top. That would be nice. Alright, so there's a Misty, there's a Bolt, there's a Brainstorm. That all works. Having a blue card with Force of Will is usually pretty good. No Wastelands, no Stifles. Did he like side out the Omniscience for young Pyromancer? Alright, Gitaxian Probe. Staring at my hand. Still staring. Still staring. Still staring. Still staring. And apparently I won the match. Alright, good. On to the next round. Woo!